The fall of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked one of the most significant events of the 20th century, ending a superpower and reshaping global politics. It was the culmination of decades of tension, reform, and resistance. But what led to the collapse of the Soviet Union, and how did it change the world? The seeds of the Soviet Union's fall were planted long before its dissolution. By the 1980s, the country was grappling with a stagnant economy, widespread corruption, and a government struggling to maintain control. The rigid communist system, built on central planning, was unable to keep up with the economic and technological advancements of the West. While the United States and other capitalist nations thrived, the Soviet Union fell behind. In 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev became the leader of the Soviet Union, bringing with him a vision for reform. He introduced glasnost, openness, and perestroika, restructuring, policies aimed at increasing transparency and modernizing the economy. However, these reforms had unintended consequences. Glasnost exposed the government's failures and allowed suppressed dissent to rise to the surface, while perestroika disrupted the already fragile economy. At the same time, the Soviet Union's control over its satellite states in Eastern Europe was slipping. In 1989, a wave of revolutions swept through the region. The fall of the Berlin Wall became a powerful symbol of the end of Soviet dominance. Countries like Poland, Hungary, and Czechoslovakia transitioned to democratic systems, leaving the Soviet Union increasingly isolated. Nationalism within the Soviet Union itself added to the crisis. Republics such as Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia declared independence, challenging the authority of Moscow. Gorbachev's attempts to maintain the union through negotiation failed, as hardliners and reformists clashed over the future of the country. The final blow came in August 1991, when a group of hardline communists staged a coup against Gorbachev. Although the coup failed, it weakened Gorbachev's position and emboldened Boris Yeltsin, the president of the Russian Federation. Yeltsin's defiance during the coup made him a national hero and shifted power away from the Soviet government. On December 25, 1991, Gorbachev resigned as president of the Soviet Union, and the Haman sickle flag was lowered for the last time. The Soviet Union was officially dissolved, replaced by 15 independent republics, with Russia emerging as the largest and most influential. The fall of the Soviet Union had profound global consequences. It marked the end of the Cold War, reducing the threat of nuclear confrontation and reshaping global alliances. The United States emerged as the world's sole superpower, while former Soviet states faced the challenges of transition, with some embracing democracy and others struggling with authoritarianism. Economically, the collapse shifted global markets. Former Soviet republics opened to the world, leading to new opportunities and challenges. Culturally, it symbolized the triumph of democracy over authoritarianism, inspiring movements for freedom around the world. Yet, the legacy of the Soviet Union's fall is complex. While it brought freedom to millions, it also created political and economic instability, the effects of which are still felt today. The fall of the Soviet Union wasn't just the end of an empire, it was the beginning of a new era in world history.